there, darling. Welcome back to another episode of the Pink Couch Chronicles. I'm your girl Lacey, if you don't know already by now. If you're new here or if you just keep watching and for whatever reason you have not subscribed yet, go ahead, click that pretty little red button that says subscribe and subscribe to my channel so that we can keep growing. So today's episode, I want to talk about the time that I got stranded in a foreign country, low-key with no money. So rewind back to 2014. I was a junior in college and I was about to turn 21. I decided for my 21st birthday that I wanted to take a trip out of the country. It was my second time going out of the country, my first time flying internationally, and my first solo trip ever. Like, I had never taken a trip by myself, even domestically, unless it was like to go to a conference where I might have been like meeting up with people or going to, just network or whatever. So I flew to Barcelona. I had booked I think it was like a 4 or 5 night stay in Barcelona, and I decided to fly to Paris for a day. I think on like that Friday or Saturday, something like that. But anyways, I booked my flight round trip to fly into Paris Friday morning and fly back to Barcelona that evening. I get to Paris, everything is great, like I have a great time. So first of all, let me back up. The airport that I flew into, because I flew Ryanair, y'all know that's like the Spirit Airlines of Europe. So I flew Ryanair. Did not realize, I don't think I realized when I booked the ticket that I was actually flying to an airport that was outside of the city center. And so I had to take a charter bus from the airport into the city, which was about like 30, 40 minutes, something like that. This was kind of like a bus that ran regularly, so I knew that I would catch the bus like to take it back out to the airport when I was ready to leave Paris. So I'm going about my day in Paris, exploring, eating good food, just enjoying everything. I had kind of like made up in my mind like what time I wanted to try to get back on the bus to get back to Paris. And so I get back to the bus lot and I go to buy a ticket to return to the airport, and the lady tells me that the last bus left like an hour and a half ago. So I'm freaking out because at this point I realized that, wait a second, this bus does not run all day, all night. And I should have looked at the schedule to make sure that I would be able to get on a bus in time enough. So I'm just like, all right, what am I gonna do? There were like buses kind of like pulling into the parking lot. So I'm like going up to like bus drivers asking, are they going back to the airport? Can they please take me? Like, and they were like, no, that's against our rules. This is my last run. I can't do it. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I see a bunch of taxis parked like over on the side. So I go ask somebody, can they take me to the airport? And they're like, sure, it'll be like $100 something. And I was like, because first of all, like I had left part of my some of my like my cash in my room in Barcelona, just so I want to be traveling with all of my cash just in case anything happened. And I didn't really have any more money in my checking account. Navy Federal, and I think this might be most banks, but Navy Federal allows you to make a maximum of 6 transfers between your accounts a month, and I had already made the maximum 6 transfers. So I literally had like because I had been shopping in Paris as well, so I literally had enough money left over, enough cash left over on me to buy a ticket, and like that was it, which the ticket was only like $15. So that's just about how much I had left. I'm like freaking out because I'm just like, it's nighttime. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm literally like, and I didn't want to call my mom, and like she happened to actually text me too, like, and ask me was everything okay, and I was just like, yeah, everything's good, I'm straight. Now on top of this, I had a full bladder. I had to pee in some random spot because there were no bathrooms like anywhere around. That's like another story. So I'm begging the cab drivers, like, can they do something? And then one of the cab drivers comes over to me and he was like, hey, he had like a Parisian accent. He was like, hey, my friend said he'll take you, my friend, the other cab driver said he'll take you to the airport if you let him, And I'm like, no, I don't know. If I let him what? And he was like, if you let him. And I'm like, hey, heck no. Heck no. Like, do you know who I am? Like, no, sir, baby. No, sir. Like, what do I look like? Let my good stuff go for a cab ride? No, sir. So I'm still trying to figure out like what to do. Finally, I remember that I had bought these 2 dresses in Paris. They were $50 a piece. And so I convinced the cab driver to take the dresses in exchange for taking me to the airport. And I gave him the receipts and everything. I was like, you can go and you can exchange these dresses at this store and you can get $100, which is what it would have cost you or what you would have charged me to take me to the airport. So finally he agrees to take me and we get to the airport. Needless to say, I missed my flight. Of course, we were late. Like, he was driving like a maniac. First of all, I'm thinking I was hoping we were gonna get there on time. I missed my flight. I had to pay. I can't remember if I had talked to my mom at this point. I can't remember how I got the money to change my flight, but I had to pay like another 200 euros to change my flight to a morning flight because there were no more flights. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just, sleep in the airport because it's a really early flight. It'll just be a few hours. I'll be fine. And so the taxi driver, he was like, no, they shut the airport down at a certain time. You're going to get kicked out. Like, they're not going to let you sleep here. And you might as well come back to Paris. So for whatever reason, I trusted him. I got in the car with him. We drove back to Paris. By this time, I know I had talked to my mom and she told me to call Navy Federal and ask them if they could make an emergency transfer from my savings to my checking account so I could have some money. And Navy Federal, with a sweet little sales, shout out to them, they transferred the money for me so I was able to get a hotel for that night. But the taxi driver took me to this hotel and apparently his friend was the owner. And so he talked to, he went in the hotel, or we both went in the hotel. First of all, the hotel was like really, really dark and dim. It was like a really updated hotel, but it was small. And it was I just remember it being like super dark. And so they were talking, in French. And I didn't know what they were saying, but the hotel owner, he charged me like $200 and something for one night. And I was really irritated about that, but I was tired. I was ready to lay down. The taxi driver, he walked me up to my room. I was starting to get a little nervous by this point. He was like, yeah, you got your hotel room. I bet you're excited. He was like, let's go party. Let's do something. And I was like, no, I'm good. This is where we cut our ties. I'm going to bed. You can leave. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, we're just gonna get a cab in the morning, or get back on the bus in the morning and go to the hotel or go back to the airport. So he was like, okay then. He was like, best of luck, and then he left. Y'all, I was so nervous. I took the desk chair and put it under the door handle because I didn't know this was his friend's hotel. I didn't know if his friend had gave him a key to my room or what, and I didn't know if putting the chair under the door was gonna do anything. I had only seen it in movies, but at least if he trying to come in the room, at least I hear the door fall over or something and I have time to defend myself. I didn't have any clothes either. I didn't have no clothes. I had to just sleep butt naked in the bed because I had nothing to put on, but at least I had a bed and I could take a shower. I slept okay, was able to get back on the flight in the morning. Y'all, when I got to Barcelona, I did not want to leave my room at all because I was supposed to be going home the next day. I didn't want to go nowhere. I literally slept most of the day because I was just I'm traumatized. I'm seriously traumatized. I don't know what's gonna happen if I step outside my hostel and try to go somewhere, so I'm gonna just stay in. But I did end up going back out and doing some more shopping and just enjoying the rest of my evening and my time in Barcelona. And needless to say, y'all, that trip definitely taught me something. I wish I could say that I was still careful because I ended up going to Cuba and almost got stranded in the mountains in Vinales, but that story is not as exciting because I didn't really get stranded. But anyways, if you're ever traveling, just make sure that you pay attention to stuff like that. And usually I'm really good about paying attention to detail, but stuff happens, whatever. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. It took me 5 times to record it because my phone kept running out of storage space. So for that much, I really hope that you take a second to subscribe comment or share the video. Comment below and also let me know what other types of videos you guys would like to see me do. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye, y'all.